Today we'll be running through a quick demo of Object Mount. We'll get started by setting up Object Mount on our machine, accessing files from an AWS bucket on our machine, then editing those in Premiere Pro, and then moving that edit into DaVinci Resolve for grading. And keep in mind, everything we do today will be directly from the cloud. None of these files are on our machine. So let's get started with Object Mount setup. To do that, we'll open up Object Mount, and this is what you'll see when launching Object Mount for the first time. We'll select Create New Mount to kick off the onboarding process where we'll access our cloud buckets. First, we'll give these mount credentials a name, and this can be whatever you want. Now, Object Mount works with Storj object storage, but it also works seamlessly with other popular cloud providers. You might already have your data somewhere like in an AWS bucket, so for this demo, we'll connect to AWS, and we can easily access our AWS buckets by entering our access key ID and secret key here. And here we have options to connect to a single bucket, all buckets under those credentials, or we can pick and choose multiple buckets to connect to. For this demo, we'll keep things super simple and just connect to the single bucket. Then click Continue to select that bucket. And here I only have one bucket to choose from, so that's what we'll go with. If you have multiple buckets, you'd be presented with those as options, but since I just have the one, I'll select that and continue to the next step. Now we'll give this mount a name. Earlier we named the credentials, but here we're naming the mount itself. This can be whatever you want, and then we'll keep moving forward. Now we can choose to deselect POSIX compatibility, which we definitely want to keep for media production workflows, so we'll leave that enabled and continue. And if everything looks good here, we can create our first mount. And after that, our mount is created. By default, that mount will be disabled, but we can quickly enable that mount by toggling it on to start accessing data in that bucket. So now we're ready to look at some video files. To do that, we can jump to the File Explorer to start browsing files in the AWS bucket. And look at that, here are the folders, video files, and we can access those files like they're locally stored on our machine. Playback is instant, smooth, and we're not downloading anything. We're not copying anything. There's no buffering or waiting. These files are being accessed straight from the cloud, as though our AWS bucket was a USB hard drive plugged right into our computer. And here we're just scrubbing around to show just how quickly we're able to access videos. So accessing these video files means we can do anything we need to with them. So let's jump into Premiere Pro to show how Object Mount enables local-like video editing straight from the cloud. First, we'll open up Premiere Pro, and then we'll open our project to demonstrate a simple, basic editing workflow. So let's drag in some video files to this project straight from the AWS bucket. I'll go into my OCS, my original camera files, and just drag them all into the timeline where we can scrub around. Again, no lagging or buffering, but these are the full files. And for editing, you'll probably want to work with proxies. Proxies are just lower resolution versions of the original files, which makes editing a lot faster and easier. And we've already generated proxies for this demo in the proxies folder, so I'll go ahead and attach those previously generated proxies by locating those. Then clicking OK. And Premiere detects all of them, and we have proxies enabled. So now we can scrub around, and it's really snappy, especially with the proxies. And all of this is happening through Object Mount's connection to our AWS bucket. Again, none of these files are copied right now. They're all being streamed directly from the cloud. So we'll just do some basic video editing here to show how fast everything is. So now that we have our edit where we like it, let's export this timeline to an XML. And we'll export directly to that AWS bucket through Object Mount. We'll give that a name. And this is showing that we can work completely from the cloud. We don't have to send files around, shipping hard drives back and forth, or any of the other clunky ways files have usually been shared. So now that we've got that exported, let's jump into Resolve for color grading. So you can either open this up on the same machine, or your colorist on the other side of the world could open this up and they'd see the same performance we're about to see. So we'll get DaVinci Resolve opened up here. And we have our empty project. Then we'll go ahead and import that timeline from the XML we just exported. We'll jump into that bucket from Object Mount, import the XML, make sure these settings are what we want, and then boom, here it is, imported straight from the bucket. Now we were working with proxies in Premiere, and we'll do that in Resolve 2 by linking those proxies. Now that those proxies are linked, we can scrub around and everything is instant, straight from the cloud. And here's some playback. And we can turn off the proxies and scrub around too, and still everything is instant. Now let's say you've finished color grading, everything's ready where you like it, and you're ready to export a full high-quality video. We can start that export process. And we'll speed this up so you don't have to wait in real time for that export. And now we'll go see that video file we just exported is right there in the AWS bucket through Object Mount. This was rendered right into the bucket. No copying, no moving things around. It's all happening straight from the cloud. And everything looks great, and that's it. That covers the basics of a video workflow, all happening straight from an AWS bucket using Object Mount for local-like access to the cloud.